kind of change are you looking at?
A country that works
How?
for the average man on the street.
You said revolution.
What is a revolution?
Yes.
A revolution simply means turn around. The word revolution comes from the French word revolver. Revolver means to turn around. Nigeria is walking inexorably towards the edge of the cliff. There is a reason why Campbell, the former US ambassador, predicted the death of Nigeria by 2016. If you read his book, Nigeria Dancing at the Brink. He wrote that book based off CIA scenarios that had already gamed the destruction of Nigeria based off what they were saying, and obviously based off the evil that they were also perpetrating, and they have continued to perpetrate against our country. So they had objective basis for concluding that Nigeria will unravel by 2016. But given our historical cowardice, some of the indices that they had factored into their calculation didn't hold true. For instance, Jonathan did not find the courage to stand against Buhari in 2015. He walked away. That was not African. The average.
He didn't find the courage.
He didn't find the courage.
What did you expect him to do?
Would you have seen an Obasanjo walk away? It had to be a Jonathan to walk away. That's the first person in Nigeria who could not even guarantee his own election.
He didn't win.
Since when has that mattered? Did Tinubu win? Did Buhari win in 2019?
Who won in 2019?
I actually believe that Atiku won. I didn't vote in that election cycle. I wasn't partisan, but I believe that Atiku actually won that election cycle. But you have a situation where Jonathan was so... People would like to say that he was a peaceful man. I don't think he was a peaceful man. I think he was just a coward. It is not in the way of Africans to walk away from power. He found the grace to walk away. But when you look at his antecedents, you can understand why he was the kind of person who would have walked away.
Was he bullied out of power?
More or less. He was also, think about it. What qualifies a man to be deputy governor in Nigeria? The only thing that qualifies you to be deputy governor in Nigeria is that you are not a threat to the governor. You have no aspiration to be governor. The governor does not feel threatened by your presence. That is why you are a deputy governor. And to become a vice president, with the possible exception of Shettima, who was always a man of some character, prior to Shettima, it has never been that an ambitious politician will be kept in the office of the vice president.
Atiku Abubakar.
Atiku Abubakar was being groomed ostensibly to take over from Obasanjo.
Yeah.
It wasn't his choice. Obasanjo was not the kind of person who was going to go and bring someone. Obasanjo came into his own by 2003. And by the time he came into his own, he didn't want Atiku as his deputy any longer. Let's be clear about that. It is not in the way of Nigerians to have a powerful deputy. You always wanted a colorless, non-threatening person.
Was Oshibajo colorless?
Oshibajo had a very good public persona to sell, but he was a placeholder at the end of the day. He was kept there for Tinubu.
But he wanted the place too.
Whether he wanted it or not is a different ball game.
He didn't act the role of a placeholder.
But that is why he never got it. He didn't have the bloody-mindedness to get it, even though he was the number 2.
He was weak too?
Look, to be president of Nigeria, there is a level of ego that you must be seized by. To even lead any collective, you must have a belief in your own capacity to lead. There is a bit of ego that comes with that. Now, Oshibajo, luckily for me, was my teacher, so at least I am familiar, a little familiar with his person. Oshibajo was not a man that you feel threatened by. He was always a mild-mannered person. Nobody will consider him an ambitious Nigerian politician. So he was kept there because he didn't threaten the office holder. The office holder didn't feel threatened by his presence. Jonathan was a colorless person who became vice president because the president was comfortable with him in that office. He didn't feel threatened. The man did not come across as somebody who was ambitious to become the president. So he became president in his own right. I think that was in 2011. In his own right. Remember, that was when they brought us the story of the shoeless man. A narrative was sold. But the minute he was shown the determination of the opposition, and they were telling us about the blood of baboons and dogs, the man took one look at the whole thing. Asasi was gone. The man came out and told all of you that he had Boko Haram in his cabinet. All the man wanted to do by 2015 was go back to his village in Yenagoa and enjoy his loot in peace. The Nigerian press had thoroughly demonized him, decimated his character in every way. The propaganda was vile. But the man also knew that those who were looking to get him out of office were not going to stop at anything. He was not unaware. All this one that Baraje was telling all of us years later, after the fact, about the importation of terrorists. Jonathan knew. He wasn't unaware.
And he couldn't stop it as president?
He was a weakling. That's the weakness to which I alluded. He probably didn't even know who to trust in his own circle, and he was an orphan in power. His political godfather, Obasanjo, had already left him.
Can a president be an orphan?
In Nigeria, when you have a system that is not rule-based, you can be a man in power and be powerless.